I've been talking to some pressure groups here in London who've been campaigning for years, for decades, for the end of this autocratic regime. Their sources inside the country are painting a very worrying picture. There are unconfirmed reports from these pressure groups that some army units have been told to shave their heads, suggesting that perhaps that the soldiers are going to go in posing as monks to try and stir up trouble. There was suggestions that perhaps soldiers dressed as monks were going to start stoning the army to give the army a pretext to start the crackdown. The crackdown, if and when it happens, is likely to be pretty brutal. The army has a track record of awful treatment of protesters, of locking up pro-democracy protesters for years at a time in solitary confinement, for killing protesters on the streets, as happened in 1988. So I think we're getting very close to a critical tipping point. The numbers now, we're talking about reports of 100,000 plus people on the streets of Yangon, so that's an awfully large number of people, and I would think the generals, General Tan Shui, are getting very nervous about whether this momentum is becoming unstoppable now.
Now, all of this that you describe, the capacity of the military junta to crack down brutally against dissent, must surely be known to the people who are taking part in this new protest. So what is it, do you think, that gives them the sense of belief, perhaps of hope, to think that this time things might be different?
Well, we understand that this was something that had been planned, these protests, that it wasn't necessarily a sort of ad hoc. I mean, it was portrayed, starting as about fuel protests, which is true, but there had been planning, people have been talking about things, that something was in the air for several weeks, for months, and that clearly they feel, the protesters, that by having monks as the central phalanx of this protest, that will somehow mean that the authorities pause sufficiently long to give them the chance, the opportunity to seize the momentum here, that the authorities might feel that opening fire or cracking down on peaceable Buddhist monks would simply not be tolerated by the international community and by the people of Burma and perhaps of Thailand as well, a neighbouring Buddhist country, and that is obviously a key strategy that they've adopted to get the monks involved with this protest, which is now beginning to involve tens of thousands of civilians as well.